All right, good afternoon, everybody. Appreciate you joining us today. As a reminder, if you have a question for Coach Malzahn, please indicate in the chat. We'll go ahead and open it up for Coach to begin with the opening remarks, and then we'll take questions. Coach?
Okay, overall, I felt like we had a solid week of practice. We just got off the game field about an hour ago. We had our third scrimmage, focused on situations, had a lot of 2-minute scenarios, which is good work. Then we had live punt return, live kickoff return, and then we had a scrimmage close to 60 plays, just a little bit over, pretty much balanced. It was really specifically our ones and twos. The thing that really stood out to me, we had more penalties today than we've had the two previous combined, and being 2 weeks away, that's very concerning. We got to get that cleaned up. We're going to start transition the next 2 weeks in Kentucky. We have 15 practices under our belt. We have 10 left, and we need to improve, and we need to get better in the next 2 weeks. As far as our COVID updates, we had 2 new positives from this past week. We had a total of 10 players total that were out with COVID-related issues, and 5 of those were starters. So, as it gets closer, obviously, that's a concern, being 2 weeks out with everything that goes with that. The PAE test from the SEC office will start tomorrow, and I believe we'll be tested 3 times a week this week and next as far as that goes. But overall, I thought it was a good week. I think we got some good work in. Once again, trying to get our guys game shape ready and start hitting different scenarios and different situations. So next 2 weeks will be a lot more about Kentucky and getting game ready. Questions?
Coach, our first question is from Mark Murphy.
Yes, can you talk about the running back depth chart and how those guys are doing individually?
Yeah, Sean Shivers has had a great camp so far. I know that Coach Williams rotated the other guys in a lot more today, and I think I didn't look at the numbers, but it's pretty close spread out as far as the other 4 is concerned. Getting reps today, that was by design, to see who steps up for that position.
Do you got any feel for how many guys might actually play in game 1 at running back?
As it gets closer, I could probably have that a little bit more, specific. But like I said, right now it was a real evaluation day for a handful of those other running backs.
Thanks.
Our next question is from Steve Moulton.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned there with the pre-snap penalties. I'm wondering also for what you've seen this fall with maybe missed tackles and turnovers. Is that all concerning to you?
I don't think there was a turnover today offensively. There was in the previous scrimmages like I talked about, but, it's just getting closer, and you got to clean up all the things like that. And I think overall, we've tackled pretty well. Definitely considering that we didn't go through spring. That's been a big emphasis, and we've tackled more, this fall camp than any other. Of course, I'm sure most teams are doing that because tackling is going to be at a premium, especially early in the season. And so we've understood that. But, just the pre-snap penalties, obviously, we got to clean up. And the urgency, that's why I talked to the guys right after the scrimmage. Hey, fellas, our urgency has to be better and better every single day leading up to the game time.
And you mentioned wanting to be 3 deep at certain positions. How do you feel your overall depth now that we're 2 weeks out?
We worked extremely hard on it. Today was a little bit more of ones and twos, the 2 previous scrimmages and practice. I'll say this. We've had a whole bunch of guys out, like I've told you, the last month. So, when you've got guys out, specifically starters out, it gives other guys opportunities. So on the positive end of it, our other guys have got more reps than they've ever got. And, and on the positive, if you got a veteran guy that has a lot of experience and he's not able to practice because of a COVID-related issue, then it's going to give you an opportunity to develop more quality depth, especially when you're talking about with your ones. And so, there's been some positives, so I'll say this. I do think we've developed more depth than we have had in the past in fall camp, but that's just part of the process that has presented itself.
Next question is from JG Tate.
Hey, Gus. It's nice to talk to you. Thank you for taking the time. You say you have 5 presumed starters that are out right now. I know that's concerning to you as the season's coming up. Are there things that you guys can do to just kind of, I guess, tighten up or whatever? Do you have to explain to them, hey, man, we can't have this happening in the season?
Yeah, I think the big thing is I think we've done an excellent job if you look at the last 3 weeks as far as the number of positives. The challenge is the close contacts. And, that's something that, is a big emphasis for us. But I know that is a big emphasis for everyone. That's the challenge for everyone right now is the close contacts. And so we've really educated our guys. We've told them what they've got to do. We got to stay 6 feet away everywhere we're at. And so I expect our guys to do that. But, I mean, you're sitting here 2 weeks from kick, and you've got some of your guys that aren't practicing. Obviously, it's concerning, but I expect our team. They've done a very good job every time we've challenged them. With something they've done it, and I expect them to continue to do that.
Tell them, like, don't go out. Let's just work on football and school and nothing else right now.
I think for the most part, our guys have done that, but it's being 6 feet away. I mean, you just. Our guys have done a good job with masks, but you got to be 6 feet away. And I know our coaches here in the building. I mean, that's just the way we've operated. It becomes a way of life. And like I said, I think overall our guys have done a really good job. But when you're talking about the close contacts, when you do have a positive, that's the issue, and that's the issue that everybody's dealing with.
This question is from Tom Green.
Hey, Gus. The other day, Kevin was saying that Chris Thompson's really done a good job of working his way up into that safety rotation. Just what stood out to you about him this preseason as a freshman?
Well, first of all, it's important to him. That's what stood out. I think he's got a really good football IQ too, and you got to understand those freshmen. They're learning as they go, and we put a lot on those guys as far as our installs been a lot faster than it normally is in normal fall camp because we didn't have spring. So I think he's adjusted well, and really overall, I think the freshman group overall has. And I think this freshman group's got a chance to really be have a chance to be special. They're off to a great start. Really in the classroom, they're off to a great start with Coach Russell working out, and then it's transitioning on the field too. So they've got a chance to really be a special class, I feel like.
Next up is Bill Cameron.
Back to the COVID situation with the Kentucky game 2 weeks away. Can you explain the 17-day deal that you were talking about? Is there any way to change that 17, or is it a strict 17 for anyone who tests positive?
Well, I think you look and it seems like every week there's changes to that and to close contacts and all that. So we're just taking it week by week and adjusting best we can.
Next up is Jason Caldwell.
Guys, Kevin talked about a couple of freshmen at linebacker stepping up because they've gotten more reps. Has that been one of the benefits of this? Is that those guys have been able to get more reps and get them more prepared than they might be in a normal situation?
Yeah, you're exactly right. If you got guys out, and of course, 2 weeks ago we had to cancel a few practices because we had some low numbers at certain positions because of out for COVID-related issues. So that's the positive. I mean, they're getting quality reps. It's not like just getting reps with the threes and everything gets a little bit ugly. No, those young guys are actually getting reps with the ones and twos when it really is sound around them, and they have a chance to really show what they can do to be successful. So, that's the positive, and that's the way we're looking at it. And like I told you a couple weeks ago, I think the teams that can adjust and not get distracted or get discouraged and all that just say next man up, and that's the teams I think are going to have an advantage.
Thanks.
Next question is from Drew Carter.
Hey guys, thanks for doing this. So when you have to quarantine players, what do you tell them to do during quarantine, especially this close to the season, to keep them ready?
Well, I mean, that they can Zoom meetings, we're professional Zoomers right now, that we've been doing. So it's becoming like the new normal. But, they're not behind as far as, the installs, the practice film and all that. It's just a matter of, not being able to be out there and get the actual physical reps.
Next question is from John Zener.
Hey, Gus. I know the kind of the concern is not necessarily the number of positives or guys out, but the position groups. One, has there been a position group that's been particularly hard hit? And two, is there a mathematical possibility to get these guys back for the opener?
Yeah, I think all those guys will be back for the opener. The issue is that we're 2 weeks away from our first opponent, and we're going to really focus on a game plan. And if you don't have those guys for the game plan and you get them, the week of the game, I mean, it's just reps, that preparation reps. That's the challenge. And as far as positions, I really don't want to get into specifics about positions, but we did have 2 positions that were hit extremely hard 2 weeks ago that that we had to make adjustments. But we talked about it before, and it's a learning experience. And if it happens in the season, you just got to adjust.
Got a follow up from Mark Murphy.
Yes, who looks like going to be the kickoff returners, the punter, and who's going to hold for field goals and extra points?
Yeah, we're still working through the holding, okay, and we're still working through the punters. So both those guys got good work, today at the stadium. So we'll take a look at that. This week will be real critical now that we're getting into our game plan and what that looks like. As far as our kick returner, Shivers, he has a lot of experience. Eli Stove's got a lot of experience. Mark Anthony Richards. We did some live ones today, and I think those guys got reps doing that. So still working through the holding and still working through the punting.
Is Flash a guy getting a look at kickoff returns?
As of right now, no. That could change, but he's going to have plenty of opportunities to do different things.
Thanks.
Next question is from Brian Matthews.
Hey, Coach, thanks again for speaking to us, and thanks for the coordinators earlier this week. Wanted to ask you about left tackle position. How's that looking now? Who are the finalists, and do you have a starter yet?
Yeah, Trox and Alec Jackson is battling that out right now. We have moved guys around and we've mixed and matched, but it looks like it's getting to that point, and seeing who steps up.
And as a follow-up, Gus, how do you feel overall about your offensive line? Just better, good, worried? How do you feel?
Here's the thing. Each day I think they've gotten better. We've moved guys around to try to figure out what is our best lineup, and we've had a couple injuries, couple guys out during this time. But, after this scrimmage, it's going to be, okay, here's the pieces of the puzzle. We got 2 weeks to prepare. So I know the offensive staff's talking about that as we speak, breaking down the film and looking to see what that'll look like.
Next question is from Gianna Hahn.
Hi, Gus. I really like the hat, first of all. But
Thank you.
we've heard Zevion Caper's name come up several times. What have you seen out of him so far, and where do you think his strengths lie at the moment?
Whose name?
Zevion Capers.
Yeah, Capers is coming on. He's got a lot of opportunities. He's one of those guys that, Coach Burns has thrown him with the one some, and he's a guy that has playmaking ability. I think he is learning every day, and I think he's responding well. And he's just trying to get used to the college game. And you got to understand, I don't care if it's any freshman, offense or defense, there's adjustment of the college game from high school, of just the consistency and everything that goes with that, and the physical part of the game. But I think he's responded well. I think he's a guy, if you ask me today, that will definitely have a chance to help us this season.